Pokemon games have been out for more than 20 years now, and I've played most of them, and although it's still enjoyable, it does feel a bit repetitive. And that does bring the question, how do we solve this feeling of repetitiveness? Well, for me, it's fan games. If you don't know what fan games is, it's basically Pokemon games which were created by fans. It can be between combining Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon to just making a harder Pokemon game. That's why the options are endless, and the amount of creativity that Pokemon fans have is absolutely insane. So after that short intro, I do want to get into today's game, which is Pokemon Chaos in Vesita. Well, without spoiling too much of the game, let me give you a small introduction to it. So basically, this game is based far away from every known continent in an island located in the deepest blues of the cold ocean. And for years the people of Vestia have lived peaceful lives in harmony and peace. But everything changed when the shadow and chaos took over the island. Now you might ask, what does this mean? Well, I don't want to spoil, so let's get straight into my playthrough of Pokemon Vestia. As we go right ahead to start our adventure, we actually meet Oscar, Pokeventure's owner. Pretty frequently, I would just skip this conversation, but actually Oscar's a pretty interesting thing. That me and two other people actually got selected to have Pokemon from a project, which is a bit different than the usual professor gives you Pokemon when you're this age. And as we get our membership card to Pokeventure, our adventure can finally start. The game starts as every Pokemon game does. You wake up in your room, you'll see your mom, but actually something insane happened. I found out I have a dad? I know, pretty insane, but also our mom gave us a brand new sneakers, I guess, as replacement for running shoes.
Do you notice me? Do you notice me? Yeah. I just wanna know, shawty, do you notice?
But like every Pokemon game, we have to go ahead to the lab to get our starter. But actually, I had a problem fighting the lab because I was expecting a big lab and I, well, found a small house. So my mod Munchie actually made a pretty good point by a big lab. I mean, inflation is pretty rough, man. Look at some housing prices right now. It's insane. So hey, I'm sorry. After finding out my name was drawn first, means I can choose my first Pokemon. We also get to know this Pokemon from the Kalos region, which I might have thought, okay, let me get Froakie, but I actually wanted to take something else. And as some of you might have already expected, I did actually choose Fennekin, because I just mainly choose Froakie when I play Kalos games, or at least games with Kalos starters. So I was like, okay, let me do a brand new thing, which I actually take Fennekin, because Delphox is actually a pretty good Pokemon, you know. Well, I felt bad until I realized he forgot my Pokédex, so that means we have to go to Imperia City. After getting to Route 2 to actually start our adventure, I actually saw something pretty weird, which is that the nature, or at least speed and some other stuff are actually in German. Now I looked up why, and actually surprisingly the game is translated from German, so it's an original Pokemon German fan game which was translated into English. So if some stuff look off, that's basically why. Before reaching the first town, we actually go ahead and meet Emmy, as she's the team leader of the Rising Stars in the Vestia project, which is my team, basically. She also gives me some Pokeballs and tells me to go ahead and meet her in the Pokeventure headquarters in the nearest town. After fighting some trainers and some Pokemon to level up my Fennekin, we finally reach the first area, Bossmo's town. And as we see Emmy again, we actually see her with somebody else. And we realize that this girl is called Tess, and she's a fellow person that also got selected, like me, to get her own Pokemon. After we talk for a bit, she actually wants to fight me in the trainer school. And I totally didn't lose the first time, because that would be embarrassing, right? After totally not losing the first time, I actually went ahead and trained a bit, caught a few Pokemon like Combi and also Flabébé. And you might ask, why is Flabébé called Dumbass? Well, chat made me, so that's not my fault, right? And after all of that, we can finally go ahead and refight Tess. This time we actually lead off with our Flabébé, which is a grass type in this game, so we can just Vine Whip the Froakie until it is gone, and then she actually sent out her Scatterbug, which wasn't too hard to beat as we do have Isagi, and it did finish off the fight with a cool Ember. And then we made our way to Aster Woods, and we felt some kind of earthquake or a weird feeling, which made me think, is there a legendary here? And my suspicions were correct whenever I saw this legendary, Sudowoodo. But more seriously, this seems to be the region's evil team, which is our first encounter with them actually. And it seems we aren't the only ones actually, as Tess has also noticed the earthquakes. Then we decide, as all children should, to go and fight with violence against these two adults. And we also get to find out their team name is Team Duplex. They also lead off with our lead Leo and a heal up tile, as we lead off with our Finnegan, and Tess leads off with her Scatterbug. But as all normal fights with evil teams at the start, this was a pretty easy fight, as me and Tess easily beat them. After beating him, we actually found out the most interesting thing so far about the game. That this rock, or at least this thing, is used to summon Xerneas or Yveltal, and it seems like Team Duplex's idea, or at least mission, is to summon these Pokemon. After catching a Cypher, beating some trainers along the way, we finally reached Imperius City. After walking around in the city a bit, we actually find somebody pretty important. We find Khan, a fellow winner of the job, which also got his Pokemon just like us. Then the professor assistant actually found us and we could finally get our Pokédex. But that's not the end of it, because we actually also had to fight Khan, which was not really fair because my Finnegan had like 2 HP, but I still won. I mean, he had like 1 Pokemon. But just before we leave, we get a pretty important message from the professor. It's about Alexo, the man who's been ruling Vesita for ages, and he's probably the creator of Team Duplex. And we have to stop him as his team has taken over the lighthouse. Wait, police officer? Look, do you have a moment for questioning? Wait. What? Blood? What kind of US police is this? As we make it to the lighthouse and defeat all of the Team Duplex grunts, we make it to the top. And as Team Duplex try to get some information from the captain, they actually see me and then I have to fight 2 of the grunts, which as we know ends off pretty easily. And before I fight Team Duplex's admins, or at least one of them, it seems like Alexo came to save the day, which I was wrong. I thought he was the guy who made the team, but it seems like I read it wrong and he's like the good guy. As we go into the Poke Event to headquarters, we see Emmy, a familiar face, but also somebody we haven't seen since the intro, which is Oscar. But he didn't say much, he just kind of gave me some explanations about how I can help this place, and I can sell ores here for money, etc. Basically nothing too important. With the gym challenges in mind, we went straight away to the dock and made our way to Rockcliffe City. And then we made our way to the first gym. Or at least we thought. Until we got told the gym leader isn't here, but he's in a completely different place and we have to go get him, which is fine. So let's get straight into that. Although we found out something absolutely horrible, that he's actually a traitor. Which is absolutely insane. I don't think I've ever seen a gym leader betray their nation except Giovanni, so this is pretty crazy. Well, after he was yapping for a solid few minutes about his love, we finally got him to go back to his gym so he could destroy his ass. So, for the second time we made our way to the gym, beat some of his trainers so we could evolve our Finnegan, and went ahead and started the gym fight. Destroy, how did it to my grandparents or empire? Or oh, it's a corner of Poke Event, oh damn. Okay, Rhyhorn. I see, okay. Alright, let me just bubble beam. Can you die, please? Okay, good, let's go, nice, good. Dangerous shit. Wait, so the Widow? Let me go into... Actually, let me just stay in. Alright, I'll just stay in. I mean, Timpole is my goat. Come on, Timpole. Come on, kill it. Okay, that's good chip. Okay, Rock Throw, he missed. Dude, Timpole is like the best thing of all time. Wait, he's gonna switch out, okay, that's fine. Into Tyrant. That's actually okay. Are you charging yet? I don't know if you're charging yet. You might not be. Okay, you are. I thought. So yeah, let's go. Kill it. Let's go. Let's go. Bubble beam, dude. This thing just like wait. This thing is. Wait, let me see. So this Temple destroyed the entire gym, was taking no damage. That's insane. Actually, it was so crazy that the leader was so mad after Temple sweeped him. He was like, I swear he was really salty in his text line. Then we made our way to the cave, cut ourselves a pretty cool Noibat, which surprisingly is actually flying fairy as a Noibat, which is pretty goddamn cool. Just as we leave the cave, we actually meet Tess again, which has a brand new Vivian, which actually looks really cool. And as she challenges us to a fight, we do beat her pretty easily this time. As we make it to Vastless City, we actually see a lot of people crowding in the town hall, and we see their town mayor Jerome promising to liberate his town from Team Duplex. And if they ask me to help him, I will go and do it, but it will only happen in the next day. I mean, or the next stream, but it doesn't really matter to you guys, as I just continued to... Why am I saying this? After trying to find Jerome, which was kinda hard, because I just couldn't find him, we actually found Team Duplex again, which was scheming stuff again. Not surprisingly. I'll show you what real pain is. Grrr. Grrr. Can I also grrr? By the way guys, when you're mad, do you grrr or no? And we also find out that Team Duplex is actually controlling the entire city. So as usual, we just go and beat all of them up and then go straight into the warehouse, which seems very, very safe. And obviously after we defeat 3 of just random ass grunts, we actually go ahead and fight not a main admin, but like the main grunt guy. And we beat him, and we also figured out before that that Team Duplex, so what they do is they take over a city, take over all of their resources, and then not only take over the city, but also take their money at the same time, which is actually kind of smart. I don't think most evil teams do that in Pokemon, or am I just wrong about that? And surprisingly, we actually finally find Jerome, but we also find Veronica, which looks like a Team Duplex admin, which does describe her master's actions of starving the entire city as justifiable. Why? I guess because her master said so? But in normal Pokemon fashion, me and Jerome team up to defeat these 2 absolute assholes. Totally didn't care me with the toes, he didn't. I am a very, very good trainer, definitely. After me and Jerome team up like we're Braun and Wade back in 2011, we do get from his parents the HM cut, which is needed to actually move on with the game. As we continue with our adventure to Route 3, we do actually see Khan, which, as you guys know, is the other trainer that also got a Pokemon just like us. And by usual Pokemon fashion, we have to do the very, very interesting rival fight, which is like, oh, look at me, I'm stronger now, let's go and battle, and then I 6-0 him, but it's fine, I'm sure I'll get better one day, right? Although those rival fights were so entertaining, something a bit more entertaining actually happened, which is obviously the second gym fight. As Jerome sends out his Alino and I send out my Cypher, my main plan was just to click Rock Smash and move on with my day, which was kinda ruined by the fact that his Alino paralyzed me and, well, parahaxed me like 20 quadrillion times. But it's all good as we sent out Hisagi to clean up the Alino. He also had an Eevee, which is actually pretty easy, but the main threat here was obviously Big Boy Toro. So the question came up is, how do you beat this absolute monster? Will it be insane strats, insane plays, calcs? No, I just clicked revive on my Cypher and Rock Smashed and won the game. I'm very, very skilled, by the way. As we went on our way to explore Lost Forest, we found 2 pretty cool things. One of them being this pretty cool Spritty Sprite, which I think is Ghost Fairy. And we also found Alexo, which gave us some pretty interesting information. That the way to stop the Chaos Pokemon is basically these 4 things that Alexo had, and he's giving them to his most trusted subordinates. And if Team Duplex get hold of these things, they will be able to summon the Chaos Pokemon. As we made our way to the beautiful beach city of Riveridge, we go ahead and try to get a bike, but then it's like $1 million. Like bro, I'm literally a kid, I'm broke, help.
You ain't nothing but a broke boy.
And without wasting any time, we go ahead and try to defeat the 3rd gym leader, but then we meet Tess, which says she's also meeting the gym leader and wants to meet us at Lake Beveris for a fight. And as we defeat the trainers of the gym, our Pokemon Wild actually evolves into a Politoed, which is really, really cool. As we finally reach Nikki, she gives us this very, very important speech about diving in water, which was very, very interesting, definitely. She does lead off with our Bind Call, which was supposed to be pretty easy, just rock smashing him, but she decided to like use about 20 quadrillion potions, like don't use this on this useless Pokemon, but anyway, we killed that. And she does send out her Crocona, which, like most Pokemon I face so far, does get manhandled by Technician Wing Attack. Then she sends out her Lantern, which is her ace, a pretty cool Pokemon at that. But his moveset was not as cool, it basically only had Takedown and Stockpile, and with a few Fury Cutters we ended the fight and got our 3rd gym badge. As we made our way to go and find Tess the fighter, our Cypher actually evolved into Scizor without a metal coat, actually just a normal level up, which is kinda cool. As we find Tess, the battle does start. She does send out a really, really cool Vivian, which I like this sprite looks really, really awesome. Obviously, Big Boy Scizor is coming into the field, and as he usually does, he just clicks Swing Attack and destroys everything in his path. Then another Denny comes in, which I'm like, okay, let me get the fuck out of here and go straight to Wild. Obviously Ground type, Matcha, get everything done in dusted. Then comes out Diggersby, which is obviously a threat, which is Bubblebeam and Sack Wild. And then we send in Scissor to just go ahead and Rock Smash, obviously push it up, that's why he's at full HP, Rock Smash up, and that is the end of Diggersby. Only leaves our starter Greninja, or sorry, Frogadier, which we also get rid pretty easily with Wing Attack. And in pretty cool fashion, we also get some lore about Tess that actually her disdain to Team Duplex because they kidnapped her mom when she was young. And her main reason of chasing Team Duplex with us is to hopefully free her mother. And as we continued with our adventure, we also met somebody pretty cool. We met Professor Tripus, which helped me get a bike. Or, I mean, at least he said like, hey, yeah, if you beat me in a Pokemon fight, I'll give you the bike, which cost like 1 million. I won. So we got the bike, thankfully, and we made our way for Sakaling Road and took a ship, which took us to a pretty sandy Route 7. As we try to find the nearest city, we actually find this woman, which says something about Zika artifact, which we know obviously came from Alexo, to stop with the Chaos Pokemon coming into light. Then she also says she's the gym leader, and she's going to the Hanra Temple, which is obviously where we're supposed to go, and then we just try to find her, but I'm not kidding, it took me an hour to find where to go, because this is so embarrassing. I'm going to show you guys my reaction to finding how to get to the temple. Also, I forgot we actually went ahead to Route 8 and went ahead and fought Randy because, well, look, this is going to be a bit hard to explain, but imagine that this town, because of how sandy and hard it is, they need cast forms to make it, you know, colder. When we find out that Team Duplex actually stole the cast forms, so we went ahead to find them, which also took me like 40 minutes. This is a really, like, this game is cool, but it's so hard to find everything, man. We did beat Randy, and we went on our way to actually find the temple. So for some reason the audio is not working, but just see my reaction right there. That's like me finding out an hour and a half later you just have to go through those two trees, which doesn't make sense, but I mean it works, so good. After defeating some more Duplex currents, we also find an unknown in the cave, which is pretty cool. I probably will never use him because he's pretty shitty, but I mean, hey, it's cool. I got you. What do you think you're doing in here? The name of Arceus. Give it back. We handle it. Silence! We have an expert right here. His name is Marv. Keepers. This is Penelope of Team Duplex. Mr. Leon instructed us to find how to save your Pokemon with that artifact. Then the rich Mav ended up with us and will help us make Masters Elan plans came true. Stop from continuing our mission. Please don't worry, it won't hurt. They're gonna like sacrifice themselves? Oh, lovely from a volcano. Oh, which is like a summoning. A Vestia, diamond ore from the Vestia mountains. Which I can produce. Creature of the night, listen to us. Obey our oh my god, if they just got them summoned. It would work. Lucky day. Actually appeared then it would be the end of your sad story. We're going. Wait, gym. Okay, interesting. After that pretty interesting exchange, which again lets us kind of understand Team Duplex's motives a bit more, we do go ahead and fight the 4th gym. As the battle starts, she does send out her camera up and I send out Wild. I'll be honest here, this is the second fight. I lost the first fight, but I don't think it's interesting to like see the fight I lost, right? After some more ball beams, we do go ahead and kill the camera up, then comes out the Slurpuff, which is a really cool sprite, man. Like, I love this sprite. I think it's like Ghost Fire, but all of the other Pokemon she has, it does kind of get walled by Wild. But surprisingly she switches out and sends out Arcanine, which we just march-shotted. Do some pretty good chip, and while we both heal, we do in the end defeat the Arcanine. Then Slurpuff comes back in, we march-shot this as well. Again, Wild was absolutely insane here, because the rest of our team was kind of weak to fire, like Scizor, you know, Scorpy, so yep, in the end, everything was gone except the big boy Zard, which was a bit of a problem with some fire fangs, but in the end, through some totally not potion ways, we beat him and got our 4th gym badge. Another cool thing that happened is actually Wild evolved again to Seismitoad. And this is the first time we've actually surfed. We went our way through Route 8 straight to Venoa Coast. So something pretty shitty happened is where I couldn't stream yesterday, so I just recorded my game through my editing software and my electricity dropped. So about 3 hours of recording basically went to shit, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use a YouTuber called Pokehex. His content, he obviously agreed. I will link his playthrough in the description below. I'll just show you a part of his playthrough, a very small part, just so you know where I am currently in the game and what basically happened. Because obviously my game saved, so I can't go back. It's a really bad situation, but thank you to Pokehex for helping me out here, and go check out his playthrough. I'll leave his link in the description below. So we actually see Emmy, a pretty familiar face as we all know from the start of the story. She's here with Okis as she can't take a detour. I'm guessing, from what I remember, it's because she has a meeting with the Pokeventure owner. And she can't use strength because she forgot her HM at home. She's like, yo, do you have the HM? I'm like, nah man, sorry, my bad. So basically both take a detour. Then I found this old guy which was yapping, I would not lie, but he did say some pretty cool stuff, like about the history of the world and the Chaos Pokemon, whatever. But thankfully, because we listened to him, he actually gave us a Toxicroak, which is pretty goddamn nice. As another familiar face pops up, which is obviously Alexa, he basically tells us that he wants us to join him and his parents for a cup of tea. But his parents are in the volcano, so if you go ahead and like check if they're okay, I mean, why can't you do that? You're the champion. But anyway, basically what happened is we went to the volcano and the parents were fine, they were just gonna go back, so basically we did all of that for nothing. After finishing our business with Alexa, we basically surfed and went right ahead to Chorohope City and into the jungle, which there we actually met Tess again and we fought again. Basically, she needed our help with Team Duplex as they were currently having this secret base in this city. After making our way through the entire base, basically me and Tess were trying to hide and figure out what Team Duplex's plan basically is. As we saw, we have all of these guys. Obviously, this is their leader, and these some of the obviously the admins, but somebody's pretty interesting. Is the guy on the left you see right here. He's the 5th gym leader, which again is another gym leader that is involved with Team Duplex, just like the first one. Also, we find out they have the better version of a Master Ball, which is 200% catch rate, but what do you need a better Master Ball if it's already 100%? I mean, who knows? I mean, that's cool, I guess. But basically, as normal Pokemon fashion, they see us, we beat 2 of their admins, and they basically send 2 of their guys to like take us away. Well, we have Pokemon, can we just like send our Pokemon out? I guess that's like against the story, so yeah. After we were done with Team Duplex, it was time for the 5th gym badge, which actually was pretty cool. This is like not a maze, but I'll show it. It's basically you have to guess which tiles to go. If you don't, you fall down. You have to fight more trainers, which is actually like a pretty cool idea. I think it reminds me of one of the gyms in Gen 4. So this was the gym fight with the gym trainer Joker. Again, this is not my content, this is Pokex's content, so I don't think there's much of a reason to show the fight. But I will say, just like Pokehex, I also have a scissor, which basically destroyed for me his entire gym. So yeah, that was basically it, and we got our 5th gym badge. After getting through the cave, just after the jungle, we basically made it to Tri-Town Plateau, where we meet Kara again. And we fought him again, and he lost again, and then he gave us another 1-minute monologue about how he's gonna be the best, or something. Like, come on man, you're a side character, please stop this. So yeah, the next part is basically the worst part I've ever had to play in a Pokemon game. This is the worst maze, or cave maze, I've ever had to do. The shit was so bad, I had to like look up on YouTube. This is actually how I found Pokehex. I was looking for a playthrough for this cave. And he saved me because he suffered more than me. He actually did it by himself. I just copied what he did. And yeah, there's nothing much to show here except basically at the end of the cave there was a brand new town which we had to arrive at. So this is actually a part where I get really annoyed I couldn't show my video. But because this is a pretty massive story thing, basically this is me, Tess, Nikki, and Nikki's grandfather together because something pretty big is gonna happen. And that big thing is Team Duplex is gonna finally release Chaos Pokemon. Which again is not a real Pokemon by the way, it's like a fake mon the creator created, which is so cool. But let's get straight into it. To defeat their grunts, we go up and see everybody already fighting, except, well, one man, which is Elon. Team Duplex is mastermind, and he's here to do one thing, is to finally release the Chaos Pokemon and obviously catch it with a new Pokeball they have made. After giving us the most normal villain dialogue, which is like, yo, I wanna control the world, hello, really cool thing, really cool Pokemon there, you wanna help me? And they're like, sure mate. Yeah, that's not really what happened, basically he's like catching him against his will, but I mean, hey, that's like basically Pokemon, isn't it? Then we fight him, again, this is Pokex's fight, not mine, so I won't show it, but let me just show you what happened after the fight. Nani, I was beaten by a child! Huh? And then like basically this thing gave me what the goddamn epilepsy. Well, like I said, this is gonna be insane. It's like the most insane thing I've seen in a Pokemon game. Like there should be a goddamn epilepsy warning for this. I won't show all of it, but basically this Pokemon goes absolutely berserk. And then Nikki's grandpa comes in, which is an old sage, and he knows how to not destroy this Pokemon, but like how to put him in a rest mode, like a PS5 rest mode for a bit, so we can think of a plan how to ultimately stop his chaos, which he does, and we wake up later on as we basically get knocked out by the impact of his spell. Well, that does mean it's time for the 7th gym, which, as obviously the gym leader, is Nikki's grandpa, which is who stopped the big chaos monster. As the fight starts, he sends out his Frostlass. Obviously, we have Charles in, so it's not much of a problem. Obviously, we have some good moves, but in the end, we just switch out into Delphox. As we click Flamethrower, that is pretty much a certain death. And I'll be honest here, Delphox was just so good, because it's so fast, it's so, it's so strong compared to this level of Pokemon. So yeah, this was pretty easy. We got a good old Psychic on a Lucha, got red, Wilden came in, which is a bit of a problem because it has thick fat, which means you can't really Flamethrower it, so we went into Scissor. He did Blizzard, which actually crit me, which did about half, but my plan was to just click Rock Smash and get rid of this Ice Dog. And as the Ice Fang, thankfully didn't Blizzard again, it did basically nothing. We clicked Rock Smash and got rid of Voilen. Then Auroras came out, which was fine because we literally have Iron Head. This thing is 4 times weak to it, it's gonna be absolutely destroyed by it, which was good. And that was it, that was our 6th gym badge, which again was pretty easy. Then we actually saw Nikki in the Poké Center, which was a bit surprising. Sorry, not Nikki, Emmy. And she actually gave us Fly HM, which is really good because it was so hard to kind of move around towns. Then we actually go ahead and go to Imperial City to meet Travis, because that's what Emmy told us to do, and we fight him. The fight wasn't really too interesting, I'll be honest, I won't show it, but he did give me the HM Rock Climb, which we need to go ahead and get to the 7th gym. And as we reach the 7th gym, or at least we try to, we realize that as always it is locked, so we go and try to find her, and we see her in the Imperial City Hall. And she tells us that Alexa was actually kidnapped by Team Duplex, which kind of confused me, because like, he's the champion, why can't he just escape? But I guess we do go ahead, defeat all the trainers here of Team Duplex, and try to save Alexa. And as we do, we go ahead and see Marv and Alexa together, which was a bit weird. They were like in a table together, and Marv immediately attacks me. If you guys forgot, Marv is a Team Duplex admin. As the fight begins, he sends out the Sigalith. I have my 7 HP scissor. I thought like I was done with fight, so I didn't heal. Basically, it took some time, but after some flamethrowers, we got rid of the Sigalith. Then Gavengela came in, which is Sucker Punch. I was like, okay, that's fine. He's not a physical attacker. Didn't crit me and killed my Delphox, which was not gonna happen, right? There's no way that would have killed me. But thankfully I do have a Lucha. We go ahead and click Ice Punch, and I'll be honest, this thing like full restored 20 times, so I won't show that, but after about 20 minutes, we finally killed the Gavangela, and Magmotor came in, we clicked CC just to get some chip off, and that was basically gonna be the end of that. As we went into Sesame Toad and Machaded, we were gonna get rid of him, but again he lived at 1 HP, and I was so scared of another full restore because he used like 4 full restores on Gavangela, man, it was insane. And Newt Slash came in, we Machad that after a few turns. That was basically the end of the fight. Then actually we get some explanation about Marv and Alexo's relationship, which Alexo and Marv talked, and Alexo explained to Marv how he's being used by Team Duplex, and how he's very sorry to Alexo and all of us for him being manipulated by Team Duplex. So after some dialogue, he basically apologizes to us, and Alexo explains his main plan, which is us to go with Tess's mother and go in the end to defeat Team Duplex from the inside. But for the plan to work, we have to get Imperial City Gym Badge to use Rock Climbs, so we go ahead and do just that. Yo, this is me editing. Basically, my stream crashed again. I had some problems in the last few days. So basically, all of this is recorded from my editing software, so this is why it looks obviously different from the rest of the content. I'm sorry about this, but next time, trust me, it won't be this way. So, we go ahead and defeat some of the gym's trainers, and it was time to go and face the gym leader. Just before the fight starts, she actually thanks us for saving Alexo, and she sends out our Stunfisk because we sent out Jireel. Pretty easily we queue this. I mean, Jireel was just supposed to be absolutely insane in this fight for a pretty good reason. I mean, Earthquake from Jireel is like pretty much a guarantee kill. So then he comes in, he plays roughs, but it's fine. Again, we just click Earthquake, and it is quite clearly gonna be a one-hit KO. But then Lectures comes in, so we send out Delphox in, because obviously this thing has Levitate, which means we can't Earthquake it. So we just do some Psychics, he does Crunch me, and we do one more Psychic, which does get him to about 10 HP. So we send out Scissor, and we were gonna kill it until he full restored. Then, can we kill it right now? No. Another full restore. It was definitely just like me getting it to about 2 HP and then him full restoring, but thankfully in the end we got rid of that. Then Substraka came in, we clicked Mudshot pretty easily. He did trash, but hey. This thing is pretty good and bulky actually. It took I think about 3 thrashes as we mudshotted that, and it was the end of Zeb Striker. Then Imoga came in, her ace, but again we sent out Drill, we rockslided I think twice as she just agilities, and that was the end of that fight pretty much. Drill again was the MVP of this fight. And then we got our Senate Gym badge, which only leaves 1 left. Then we make our way back to Bliss Ice City. It's time to go right ahead for the Snowy Mountain to the last town for the 8th gym. But then we actually see Khan again, which as always he says like, yo bro, you always beat me, I am now stronger, can I beat you? And I'm like, sure. So he sends out his Noivern, which is really cool. Actually, we actually use one later on in the Elite 4. You guys will see that. It's pretty goddamn nice. But after a few Side Shocks and Psychics, he does go with Dragon Kiss as I Exeter, because I forgot this thing was Fairy. I thought it was Psychic, so that was my bad. But in the end, Ironhead does the job. So he's gonna send out his Arcanine, so my plan is Toad, which we just surf, killed that. Sends in Chestnut, we send in Sizzle. Obviously we have Wing Attack, which will just destroy this thing pretty goddamn fast. Then he sends out his own Seismitoad, which we just Exeter. I thought it would do it KO, it actually one-hit KO with a crit. And his last Pokemon being Bishop gets absolutely manhandled by Rock Smash. And that was the end of this fight. And he gives us another dialogue about how he's gonna be the strongest, he's gonna beat me, and he likes me, and yeah. And as we reach Nanutan, we see the Skipple, which actually wants to show us something, which is pretty weird. It's actually a pretty cool thing when we actually see somebody really important. And it is Tess's mother, which we thought was kidnapped, but actually we come to find out through this dialogue that she was actually a secret agent. And when Team Duplex destroyed her city, she basically came in and joined them so she could work in the background to hopefully destroy them later on. So she gives us a Duplex package, which is basically a uniform of Team Duplex, so people can obviously think we're actually a part of Team Duplex when we enter their organization, and it is time to go ahead and go straight into that. And as we finally get to Pijako City, we see an Axu just like the people back then, which also wants to show us something. And not surprisingly, it is Tess. As we explained to her the plan and about her mom, we are all ready to go. Infiltrate Team Duplex. As we enter the Team Duplex organization, we put on our cap and hat. We see Tess, and she tells us to go to the other building as she's covering this one. So after we go around and beat a few people, we actually go ahead and see Randy. If you guys remember, Randy is one of the guys, one of the admins back then. So he sends out this Houndoom. This was a pretty easy fight, I would not lie. Just click CC with Halucha and get rid of most of his Pokemon. This is not like really worth seeing. But he'd actually steal our hat, which was the only way for us to like act as Team Duplex members, so currently everybody now knows that we are intruders. Also, when we defeat a few of the grunts, our Noibed actually evolves into Noivern, which if you guys know, this is like a cool new form, which looks really cool, man. So, to not bore you too much, basically this was really hard to kind of get through, but after a bit of time, we did finally find the right place, fight Veronica, the Team Duplex admin. And also, there's something I think I forgot to put on, is we had to collect all the artifacts that Team Duplex stole. As you see right here, we take them, and we actually needed 4 of them just to beat another Team Duplex admin. And as we basically wanted to get in and fight Elon, we couldn't because we only had 2, so I had to go and find them as well. We found them, and we're gonna go right ahead and start the Elon fight. As we enter the room, we see Elon going over his evil plan, or at least absolutely raging as the fact that about 2 12-year-olds destroyed him. Just before he attacks Tess, for some reason, I go ahead and make a grand entrance, and basically Elon's like, yo dude, you're so annoying, stop destroying all of my plans, you absolute dumb child. So he basically says, alright man, let's fight. Like, I don't know why, this reminds me of like a Yu-Gi-Oh fight, how you have to like go to and sit next to each other. I don't know why, maybe I'm just like dumb. Basically, since his egg, Flamethrower is obviously gonna go in, does the job, gets a KO easy enough. I go into Drill because he's gonna send in his Tyrantrum, and now we both actually Earthquaked, but I think because of the level difference between me and him, he obviously managed to live and also EQ me back and kill my Drill. But as we send in Halucha, we go ahead and Ice Punch, and as always we have to suffer 20 quadrillion full restores, but in the end it was alright as we just succeed and got through that. Later on, Scootra came in, which you guys know the Scootra is also Psychic from the new form. We just exit her and get rid of this as quick as possible. Then Corona comes in. My plan was to just click Mudshot to lower its speed so it doesn't quiver dance and destroy my entire team. And we do just that. We also get some good hits off with Surf, and then we ended off with Psyshock from Hisagi. Then he sent out his Lapras, his Ace, and we send out Halucha. We click Close Combat, but Unfortunately, it is not enough, it does kill us with Hydro Pump. Although we do send out Orisa again, fight was pretty poetic, how our starter beat the main evil team's guy's ace. Destroyed all of his evil plans. Later on, he's absolutely mad. He's like, yo, lock him up again. I don't get this part. Like, dude, I literally have Pokemon. Why can't I just like throw these girls away? Anyway, for the point of the story, Tess's mom comes back, helps us save the day, and basically tells Elon that his time is up. The cops are all around the building. It's like an EDP situation if he was actually convicted. Then we see a Raichu come and save Tess just before she gets absolutely obliterated by Clutter, and Alexa comes in. Saves the day, tell Elon that his plan is over, basically that he paralyzed him and everything is done. The cops are outside and it is GG for Elon's plans. Then Alexo and Tess thank me for helping and he actually gives me a Master Ball, which is really cool. Then it was time for the final gym badge, the Dragon type gym, which again was presented by Satura, Tess's mother. Basically, first turn she leads off with our D-Knight. We click on Wisp as I was afraid of this thing clicking Dragon Dance, but he just clicked Dragon Rush in the end. Then I sent out Momo, D-Kiss Dad to hopefully get some chip off, but actually I crit him and killed him right away, which is really goddamn nice. Then Shrill came in against Shagalgi. Again, this thing is literally so easy to kill with Earthquake. Until I fought until he Hydro Pumped. Thankfully, Shrill being really bulky helped. He survived the Hydro Pump, although she did full restore like 20 quadrillion times like every trainer in this game. We do kill Shagalgi with Earthquake. She sends out her Salamence, we go ahead and D-Kiss, kill that, and then there's only 2 Pokemon left. Heliolisk is in, the Dragon type Heliolisk, Dragon Pulses in my trail, we live at like 4 HP, click Earthquake, and that is good. And she sends out her final Pokemon, her ace, Hydreigon, which I love Hydreigon so much, but it was time to get rid. As he does click Dragon Rush, I do click X-Scissor, and thankfully, Scissor being so bulky took basically nothing, and we managed to go ahead and kill the Hydreigon, and we got our 8th and final gym badge. So it was time for Victory Road, the final objective in our Pokemon adventure. I won't bore you with Victory Road, it's like mazes, but it was kind of cool, very beautiful place. We finally reached the beautiful castle of Victory Road. As you get our team ready up with some HMs and TMs, we are finally ready to go and defeat the Elite Four. But actually, Professor Tribus again comes and wants to fight us, and again, very easy fight. It's just boring. I won't show you. You guys want to see the Elite Four? Let me show you the Elite Four. Obviously. As we go in, we actually see it's not as the normal Elite Four goes. Basically, you have to like pick a room. We start off with a Dark type trainer, Briss. Briss does lead off with Stunting. My plan was to just X-Scissor, get some chip off, but unfortunately he did have Flamethrower, which does obviously kill my Scissor. I mean, this thing can do nothing to this. I just click Earthquake with Drill. Obviously, this thing is a poison type. We want to do as much damage as possible. It does Flamethrower, but again, just like last time with Galgi, this thing is really bulky, so he lives at like pretty decent HP, about half, and get rid of Stunting. This a really good looking Malmar came in. I mean, not good looking like that, but like, you know, like good sprite, like cool way, yeah. So I just decided right here to just go ahead and set up. So I just healed my thing and set up. If you guys see, like the level difference between me and them is insane. Like it's 10 levels, so I did use some heals just because it was not really fair without it, especially when they also used them. But in the end, we just clicked Rock Slide. Again, this thing was +2 at this point, which means it would do a lot. Like, I kind of lucky there. The Rush Miss, Rock Slide Flinch, and then we went right ahead and beat Hydreigon, which only leaves 2 more Pokemon. One of them being Absol, or I thought it was Absol until I saw Punishment and I realized, yeah, this is probably a Zorua. As we realized right here with a Lucha, we CC the Absol, sorry, the Absol, I got confused. Zorua, CC again the actual Absol, and went ahead and defeated Briss. Next up was Susan, the Ghost type gym leader. I'm just very tired. I've been editing this for like hours. Sorry, Elite 4 member Susan with Shagalgi. It's gonna go ahead, click Ironhead, get as most damage as possible. That was my main plan with Scissor. I always let off with Scissor just because he's so versatile and it was just really good to use him here. And in the end, Shagalgi does beat me with a Hydro Pump, but it's fine. We go into a Lucha and cut it off with an Ice Punch. Then Chandelier comes in. My plan again was to just click Mudshot and then serve. I actually kept Mudshot for so long just because of the speed drop was really useful. Even later on, you guys will see in like the least Elite 4 member, you will see it. It's so useful. Gengar comes in, we kill it with Rock Slide. He sends in Egg Slash. Thankfully, we have Delphox. Kick Flamethrower is actually click SD, so we have no worries about losing some health. Then, what's next is Spiritomb. Spiritomb comes in, and my plan was obviously to go into Momo to get D-Kiss, obviously Fairy type is super effective against Spiritomb, that was the main plan here. This fight was a bit easier than the other one, thankfully. I mean, I'm not complaining. But yeah, that was the end of Susan. And up next was Chrissy or Sissy? I'm pretty sure it's Chrissy. The Elite 4 member, not Gym Leader. I got it right this time. She was a Psychic type Elite 4. Psychic, it's Fairy. I'm tired, I'm sorry. Anyways, what just comes in? We click Iron Head easily enough. We get rid of this. He actually Pale Dance did like 2%, but that's fine. Slowpoke comes in. This thing, what I thought it was Fairy Ghost, was actually Fairy Fire. So I kinda get my ass kicked. So I went into Wild, click Mud Shot. I was afraid of like Belly Drum, so yeah, go ahead and Mud Shot, lower its speed. We then surfed a bit, got some chip off, and actually killed it in the end with Wild. Then she sends out Noivern. Again, the plan was to just Mud Shot, lower the speed, but unfortunately... Wait, unfortunately? Oh, sorry, I thought I died. No, we just Mud-Shotted, got some chip off, went into Hisagi, and just basically, we are very, very strong Spitfires. So, we just tanked some hits, clicked Psychic, get rid of that, she sends out our Sylvia, we click Iron Head, destroy this thing pretty goddamn easily. A Roman Tease comes in, which this thing looks really, really cool, but as always, this thing being Fairy type, and we having an Iron Head Scissor basically meant this thing will die, as pretty much when we can kill it. Although actually, I think he didn't kill me with Psychic. Yeah, he did kill me with Psychic. But we actually went ahead and finished it off with an EQ from Big Boy Drill. And that was the end of the third Elite 4 member. Which does mean there is one left. And sorry if this voiceover sounds a bit bad, I am really tired, I've been editing this for like hours, so sorry about that. Anyways, Lucican comes in first. So, I was scared of this thing SDing, obviously having speed boost, so I just sacked my Scissor anyway. Thankfully, this thing did not have speed boost, so we went into Hisagi, clicked Psychic, and got rid of this as fast as... I mean, I guess possibly, yeah, obviously. Lucario comes in, we just click Flamethrower because there's no way this thing lives. I think this thing has like 50 speed FER, like you're dying, mate, even though you have like a really, really big level difference. Mianshu, Big Boy Cat comes in, he crits me with Bounce, we click Psychic, and he's another victim of the Psychic attacks from Hisagi. Galid comes in, we deliver some T-Kisses, he does CC me a bit, lower his defenses later on, which does let me just go ahead and kill him with Boom Burst, I think 3 to 4 more attempts later on. Then, Lucha comes in. This is what I said about Mudshot from before, I was really afraid of this, like this, you know, boosting from Halucha, so we went ahead, clicked Mudshot, lower its speed, so our own Halucha can then go ahead and revenge kill her with CC. Again, dude, the Halucha was so good. Like, what an amazing catch this was, I think, back in the forest. And that was it. That means that we are so close to being the champion. And it is not like so. It is actually Khan. And as always, he gives us his dialogue. But this time, it is more important because he's actually the champion, which I was surprised about, I would not lie. But the fight starts, and it is very, very important here that we think about this very carefully. Thankfully, Noivern comes in first, and again, as you guys know, this Noivern is a Fairy type, Fairy Dragon type, so we just click Iron Head. He actually lives that, which surprised me a lot. But as he clicked Full Restore, thankfully we got the Iron Head High Roll, which did let us kill the Noivern in one shot. Wild comes in. What did he say that? Oh yeah, Arcanine. So again, this thing was basically Mud Shot and Surf, basically lower your speed and Surf if I die. Other Pokemon that is slower can hopefully go ahead and finish the job, but thankfully Wild was really, really good and finished Arcanine all by himself. Then as the starter Chestnut comes in, we send out Big Boy Sis to just click Wing Attack. I thought this would live, because if you guys don't know, Chestnut is really, really bulky defensive wise, but thankfully we crit and get rid of that. Then his own Seismitoad comes in, Hydro Palm Scissor gets rid of our Scissor, but thankfully we have a Lucha with SD. Our plan was to just click SD, CC, destroy his entire team, but I kinda underestimated Seismitoad. And I thought that I could just one-hit KO him with +2 Sword Dance. It was combat, I didn't. Kill him with Pump, but it was fine. We still had enough attack potency with Hisagi Psychic to just go ahead and finish him, even if he does Full Restore, obviously. Which he does. This time it actually makes sense, not like the other fights where like they would Full Restore with absolutely no reason. Thankfully this time Hisagi finished the job. That was the end of Seismitoad, which only left us, only left him with 2 Pokemon. Bishop coming in was pretty good, because I think I've never seen a Bishop in this game with Sucker Punch, so I knew I could just Flamethrower pretty easily, not worry about anything, and kill the Bishop pretty easily. Last thing that was left was Aromatisse, which was his... Was this ace? I don't know, it's really cool though. So basically, we collect SD, and our plan was to just hopefully one-hit KO this Aromatisse, and Drill did pretty much everything he can here with the first Q he does like up doesn't really matter, as Aromatisse is a special attacker. Weak Q, it does a lot of damage, and in the end, we go ahead and defeat him and become the true champion of the region. And that was the end of our adventure. So yeah, the video is done. If you're still here and watching, I literally love you and will marry you in the next 5 days. No, but really, I won't lie, this was a pain in the ass to edit. But thankfully, we are done. I have another project coming up. I have a few more projects coming up on the channel. A few smaller videos, but hopefully you enjoyed this. I worked my ass off on this video, and hopefully you had some enjoyment from it. If you could leave a like and a sub, I would really appreciate that. Thanks to all of you for watching. Love all of you. Peace out. If you can, go follow me on Twitch. See ya.